For the most part, you know, since we had 7 kids, all we ever did was play sports. And we had an instant team, whether it be a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3. You just throw a couple of neighbor kids in, and you may have a 4-on-4. So we played any sport imaginable.
They used to play, you know, speedball against the side of the house, hardball against the side of the house, hardball against the garage door. They had a basketball hoop on the other side, and that's what they did. And when they got kicked out of the yard, they would go into the field and just play war, dirt bombs, you know, whatever they could think of. So it was a lot of fun, you know. It was always something to do.
When I got to high school, I concentrated on basketball, which in hindsight, I wish I had played baseball, continued. I loved baseball. Baseball is just a wonderful sport. But I played basketball, and I was lucky as a sophomore to make the varsity, and I was able to play, you know, from sophomore, junior, and senior all the way through. And by the time I was a senior, we had what some people say was the best team in the history of the school, and we went to the state tournament.
I can still remember when they lost their state tournament game. You know, you get in, you qualify, and he took a shot and he missed it. And I can still remember him just on the ground on all fours, covering his head like this, because it was done, you know? And, you know, after that, I mean, really, you know, you tell your kids to enjoy the whole high school thing because it's over so quickly, but I don't know, I can still see him, on the basketball court at Somerset High after he missed that shot. And, you know, I get shook up talking about it now still because I knew how much it meant to him, so.
Well, when I was a senior, it was difficult because we had, my parents were getting divorced and my father became disabled. So really, it was a very tough time my senior year. Actually, I almost missed enough days almost not to graduate at one point in time because it was very tough at home. So I had gone actually to SMU, Southeastern Massachusetts University, which is now UMass Dartmouth, and I literally dropped out by the time it was October, I think I dropped out, and worked locally in a department store, Apex department store at the Swansea Mall in the men's department. And during that time period, I just kind of wallowed around. You know, I really didn't have much direction, but I did fill out some applications to go to college. I think I only filled out 2. What I really wanted to do at that time was go play basketball in college. I really just wanted to play basketball somewhere because I love playing basketball, and I was kind of unfinished with it. And a friend said, hey, why don't you try applying to Assumption College? I think you may be able to play there. And that was the extent of my research on the school. And I applied and was able to get into the school because I had pretty good grades, and walked on at the basketball program. But really, it's sad to say, I didn't really want to go. I knew I needed an education, but I really, first and foremost for me, was I wanted to go play basketball somewhere.
He went up for his orientation for Assumption, because that's where he went to college in Worcester. So his father couldn't make it, and I don't know, I was available or something like that. So we grabbed his father's Granada. He had this nice, it was a sweet Granada. You ever seen a Granada? But it was white with white walls. It was really, really nice. And so he and I drove up to Worcester and went to his orientation. And I know it's not much of a real story, but for us at the time when you're 18, it's kind of just driving to Worcester seemed like a big deal at the time, you know, so.